Okay, I'm gonna start. Do you want to introduce this one?
Hello and welcome back to Chill Chatter Podcast. Hey. This is Sue.
And that's B. Today we are reading Reddit stories. This is our Reddit episode, and I will be reading because I have my computer, and Brina's gonna give us the tea. We're gonna react to them. Oh, she's pouring up. We're gonna do themes each week.
But can I tell you one of my goals before we start this?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Is that one day our podcast goes so far that we're able to read Reddit stories about ourselves.
Literally. So this week's theme is family drama in different ways, shapes, and forms. Let's dive into some family drama, shall we? Okay.
Family drama?
Do I have family drama? No, I just was like, we're cousins and we're family.
Let's read other people's family drama because we don't
literally
have any.
Because we're perfect. We're perfect. First and foremost, you said that you haven't heard the story, so I have to pull this one out of r/Museum of Reddit. You have to hear this story. This is like OG Reddit shit. Quite literally.
Get my popcorn.
You might not want to eat during this.
Okay.
So this story, it's called The Poop Knife. So let me just see if you have one of these in your house. My family poop. Shh, I'm telling the story. My family poops big. Maybe it's genetic, maybe it's our diet, but everyone births giant logs of crap. I need my glasses. Hang on. If anyone has laid a mega poop, you know that sometimes it won't flush. It lays across the hole in the bottom of the bowl, and the vortex of draining water merely gives it a spin as it mocks you. Growing up, this was a common enough occurrence that our family had a poop knife. It was an old rusty kitchen knife that hung on a nail in the laundry room, only to be used for that purpose. It was normal to walk through the hallway and have someone call out, "Hey, can you give me the poop knife?" I thought it was a standard kit. You have the plunger, your toilet brush, and your poop knife. Fast forward to 22. It's been a day or two between poops, and I'm over at my friend's house. My friend was the local dealer and always had guests over because you can't buy weed without sitting your ass and sampling it for hours. I excuse myself and lay a giant turd. I look down and see that it's a sideways one, so I crack the door and call out for my friend. He arrives, and I ask him for the poop knife. My what? Your poop knife, I say. I need to use it, please. What the fuck is a poop knife? Obviously, he has one, but maybe he calls it a more delicate name. A fecal cleaver, a dung diver, a guano glaive. Am I saying that right? I explain what it is, I want it, and why I want it. He starts giggling, then laughing. Then lots of people start laughing. It turns out the music stopped and everyone heard my pleas to the door. It also turns out that none of them had poop knives. It was just my fucked up family with their fucked up bowels. FML. I told this to my wife last night, who was amused and horrified at the same time. It turns out that she did not know what a poop knife was and had been using the old rusty knife hanging in the utility closet as a basic utility knife. Thankfully, she didn't cook with it, but use it to open Amazon boxes. She will be getting her own utility knife now. Edit. Why was this not in the bathroom instead of the laundry room? Answer. We only had one poop knife, and the laundry room was central to all three bathrooms. I have no idea why we didn't have three poop knives. All I know is that we didn't. We had one. Possibly because my father was notoriously cheap about the weirdest things. So yes, we shared our poop knife. And that is poop knife.
Family's turds were so big they had to have a poop knife.
Yeah, and he just assumed that every family like had a fucking poop knife like in there. And you just called for it when you needed it. Okay, let me find a different one. Do you ever have a hankering to use a poop knife? Do you ever need one?
No. Would you? Was there one in your bathroom and you didn't see it?
No comment. I'm just kidding. Okay. This is story number 2. Am I the asshole for fixing a problem so my cousin couldn't bake a cake? My family has a tradition of spending the week of Memorial Day together on a vacation property that's jointly owned by several family members. It includes a day-long picnic/cookout that involves 8 to 20 family members. While discussing logistics, my cousin Jessie, 22 female, announced that she was going to bake a cake. Immediately, our Aunt Beatrice, 73 female, became insistent that Jessie not make this cake. She'd have to bake it the day before, but there wasn't anywhere to store it. She shot down any and all ideas from Jessie and her mom, Marie, 51 female. When I, 38 female, spoke to Jessie later, she confided in me that she felt stupid for buying the cake ingredients already because she knew Beatrice would find an excuse to stop her from making it. She really wanted to contribute this year because despite being an adult with a full-time job, everyone still treated her like she was a kid who couldn't be trusted with anything. She wanted to prove them wrong. I reminded her that Beatrice's concerns were about the lack of safe food storage, not about the trust in Jesse's ability, but she wasn't buying that. TBH, I thought Beatrice's arguments were flimsy at best. However, as a preteen/teen, I spent a few summers Beatrice's families to attend a cool summer camp with my cousin Connor, 38 male, who was born the same year as me. And during this time, I came to resent Beatrice. It was like she would say no to us with no reason, basically just so we'd know she's the boss. For example, at breakfast, she'd ask what I wanted to drink, only to insist I needed to drink something else. Ask for milk? No, you have to have the OJ. Ask for OJ? No, milk. She'd do this with everything. It was especially annoying when it came to activities. Anyway, I'm an adult now and I'm able to admit my view on her is definitely biased, so I didn't say anything about it to Jesse. Instead, I looked at the problem. The tiny countertop. I realized that while there was limited horizontal space, there was plenty of vertical space, especially over the snack bowl area, which wasn't big enough to serve as a prep area anyway, and that gave me an idea. The next morning, I measured twice and went out to quest for a pantry stand. Stuff can go under it and it gives a little shelf to put stuff above, and found one that fit over the snack bowl. I showed it to Marie when I got back and got her permission to set it up, and Jessie was able to bake her cake. Beatrice was not pleased by this development, sulking and rolling her eyes whenever the cake was mentioned. Several cousins have since accused me of being an asshole because it wasn't my place to fix the space issue, as it wasn't really the problem, and I should have known because she didn't actually want me to fix it. I maintain that Beatrice shouldn't have lied about the problem to begin with. If it matters, Marie and Beatrice both own part of the vacation property. They were the only owners at the site at the time. Thoughts? What do you think he was voted?
No reason for him to be pissed at no.
She was voted not the asshole. Not the asshole. You saw a problem, you solved it, and everyone benefited except Beatrice, who seemed more interested in maintaining control than enjoying the family gathring. Who the hell gets mad about having cake?
It's a good thing we don't have family members like that.
I feel like I do. I feel like your mom. I'm just kidding. Aunt Carrie, I love you. Aunt Carrie reminds me of Aunt Beatrice. I'm just kidding.
Please start calling her Aunt Beatrice.
Hey, Aunt Beatrice. I hate when Beatrice is 73 freaking years old. I hate when old ladies or just like older people act like they're 12.
Someone she can't make a cake.
Like, what's your deal? I want cake.
No.
Let Jessie make her cake.
And you know Beatrice wants cake.
That's what I'm saying. Her fat ass is probably... She'd probably die for some cake.
Is it ROP that wanted to make the cake, or Jessie? Whoever wanted to make the cake.
Jessie.
I was
Jessie.
sure that Aunt Beatrice did not get cake.
Or like if Aunt Beatrice is like allergic to something, you put like macadamia nuts or like extra macadamia nuts sprinkled on top, chopped them up, put them in the batter. 73 female. You're acting like you're 4. Like, shut up. I don't care if you're elder. We don't have to respect you if you're acting like a child.
No, Beatrice.
So this one kind of strays from our theme, but I thought this would apply to you because you are around kids all day. This is from r/Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for writing my little girl's names on every single school supplies? So I'm 31 female, an adoptive mom to an 8-year-old girl named Lily. Oh, how cool. We decided to go school supply shopping because I enrolled her in a before school starts program. A month before school starts, they learn some extracurricular stuff. Lily really wanted to join the program, so we went out and bought all the school supplies. I had problems with people stealing from Lily, so I made sure to mark everything. We bought all the required supplies, including a clear backpack. To prevent theft, I used E6000 glue to put her name on a clear backpack so nobody could take it. It's bound to happen otherwise. We got a really cute pencil pouch, and I wrote her name with Sharpie on the inside of the pouch. I also wrote her name on the box of markers and every individual marker. I did the same with the scissors and the glue stick. I basically wrote her name on everything to prevent theft. I sent her to the program. But when Lily came home, she was upset, though not crying. Apparently, we weren't supposed to write names on the school supplies because everything was going to be mixed up and distributed to everyone. I called the teacher and they explained that they didn't have enough money to get every single kid their own supplies, so they planned on distributing the supplies evenly. The teacher shamed Lily for it. Now, I don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like she's an asshole. If I was the teacher, I definitely wouldn't shame her. But I have seen a lot of teachers put everyone's supplies together and distribute to those who don't have supplies.
Which I totally understand.
100%, but no one should be shaming the mom. For putting
not the asshole. Yeah, if schools have trouble getting supplies for all students, then they should make that announcement so parents can volunteer to pitch in extra for kids who go without. I will never understand shaming parents and kids for wanting to use their own supplies. And like, if they were all supposed to do that, like, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you send out a paper or an email saying like, hey, everybody brings school supplies to pitch in. We're kind of limited here. We don't have enough in the budget to get everybody school supplies. Someone should have sent out an email.
100%.
Like, it's not the mom's fault.
As I was a little girl and getting to pick out my school supplies, like, that was an exciting time for me. Like, choosing your folder that has like a certain design on it, you know? So I can see why the little girl was upset.
And, like, the teacher shaming the little girl, like, for one, how is it her fault? And it's not even the mom's fault, which I know that teachers have. You are not the asshole. Agreed. I think that's what most people are saying in the comments.
Can you tell in my eyes that I'm drunk?
I mean, you do look a little drunk. I feel, like, good. Okay. This is from r/am I overreacting? We're about to find out.
Your feelings are valid.
Yes, girl. Yes. Okay. Am I overreacting? My sister told me this is a title. My sister told me she was thinking about what it would feel like to punch me in my pregnant belly. Now me and my husband are thinking about not letting her have a relationship with our child. Am I overreacting? My husband, 31 male, and I, 30 female, are currently 7 months pregnant. We decided to have our baby shower back in our hometown so that our family and friends could make it. We arrived 5 days before the shower in order to spend some time with our families. We usually stay back at my parents' house, which consists of my parents and my sister, 28 female. Our families have not seen me in about 6 months, and this would be the first time they saw my pregnant belly. The first day we arrived, my parents were joyful and excited to spend time with us and finally see me pregnant and showing. My sister showed up after being out with her friends that night, and as soon as she saw me, she looked disgusted. She slowly walked towards me with a disgusting face and saying, "OMG, I can't believe you look like that." She said hi and proceeded to tell me that on the drive home, she was thinking about how it would feel to punch me in my belly. Deadpan. There was no chuckle after or any sense of being even remotely a joke. I was in shock and immediately felt unsafe, but tried not to have a visible reaction for my parents' sake. I stood there a couple minutes while she poked my stomach while making a disgusted look and just felt incredibly uncomfortable and on guard to any sudden movements. And then I excused myself and said I was going to sleep. Throughout the following days leading up to the shower, I avoided her and shared what happened with my husband and my parents, who had overheard the conversation but hadn't quite grasped exactly what she said to me. They were all concerned, and my mom spoke to her friend that happens to be a therapist. The therapist told my mom that what my sister had said was extremely concerning and needed to be addressed. When my parents addressed it with her, she blamed her anxiety and depression and told them that my husband and I have everything, and now we are having a baby and she has nothing to live for. She said all she does is go to work and sleep. For background, she has been going to therapy and on depression and anxiety medication for about 10 years. She has been extremely rude and selfish her entire life. This isn't the first time she says that she has suicidal thoughts. During my college years, I moved out of my parents' house and she blamed her depression on me for leaving the house, leaving her behind, and threatened my parents with suicidal comments. Throughout the years, she has made my parents feel like I need to be responsible for her mental health and happiness. It comes off to me and other family members like she manipulates my parents into doing everything for her because of her depression. After the baby shower and some long conversations between my husband and I, we are trying to unpack it all. We are considering not allowing her to have any contact with our daughter once she's born. We assume she doesn't even want to make any effort to build a relationship with our child anyway. Are we overreacting? No.
I mean, that's a concerning thought that her sister wants to punch her pregnant belly.
What's her sister?
As far as going no relationship, I don't know.
Her sister is 28. She needs some help.
Depression on someone else.
Especially thoughts of harm. I don't care if it's to yourself or others. You can't just be walking around saying that stuff.
I don't think she's being dramatic.
Never having a relationship with her, that maybe is extreme, but like if she gets the help she needs on certain terms, maybe she could see her child eventually. 2.3k upvotes, not at all. Honestly, maybe underreacting, because I would have gone no to low contact with her given the history. She's grown and not your responsibility. Never let her around your kid. Exactly. If that was an intrusive thought, she probably wouldn't have said it out loud. I have horrific intrusive thoughts and I keep them to myself. It's funny, me too. Just with her track record and background, and I'm sure there's other things that OP didn't mention in the post, like, I'd be scared of her.
100%. I'm drunk. Can I go pee really quick?
Yeah, go pee, girl.
Okay, first off, this wine is 19% alcohol.
What wine is it? Mine's 5.
No wonder why I'm so, like...
Yeah, you're toasted, dude.
Look, 19%.
Where the fuck did you get that? You ready to jump back in?
Yes.
We have an update. The first post was 3 days ago. This was 2 days ago. So I definitely think I underreacted, and I have been desensitized to her nasty comments, manipulative actions, rude behavior, and just overall attitude. I'd like to address those saying that I should have done more in the moment. Yes, I should have, but it's easy to see that when you're thinking back on it, or like you, I'm sitting in bed behind a screen in this situation, and what you think you would have done. It's another thing entirely when it's actually happening to you in the moment. For those saying my parents are coddling her, yes, they are. However, I think most parents that are being told by their child that they're suicidal, they would probably try to keep that from happening any way they can. I agree that my parents need to seek therapy how to better handle her. My sister is an adult and they can't just reach out to a therapist. Her therapy is virtual and they have no contact information for them. Regarding those wondering what she's been diagnosed with, all I know is the anxiety and depression. My husband and I have speculated about her being narcissistic and having personality disorder like borderline, but we don't think she's been diagnosed, and if she has, she hasn't shared any of that with us. I also think therapy is what you make of it, and there's no way to know what exactly she shares with her therapist. Like I said, she's an adult, and some of the suggestions in the comment aren't taking that into consideration. For those suggesting she gets a psych eval, how does one go about getting one of those? I mean, without having the cops called or forcing her to go to the hospital and getting involuntary hospitalization. Is there a less traumatic way of requesting a psych eval be performed, assuming she'd be willing to? For those suggesting my parents kick her out, they are never going to do that. If she were to ever kill herself, they would feel completely responsible, as probably any parents would. So whether or not she's manipulating everyone, it's still just a fact that no one is willing to take the risk with that on their own child. I would also like to point out that even before the incident, my husband and I had already agreed that we would never have her watch our child or be responsible in any way for their care, since we both agree that she probably wouldn't want to, and neither of us would feel comfortable with that. We also agreed that we weren't going to stay at my parents' house when we came to town to visit after our kid is born, because it'd just be uncomfortable, lack of space. For those concerned about me still being around her, the baby shower is now done and over with, and we are safely back home, very far away, and there's no way of her being around me. Thank you for all of those who wished me well. Your thoughts are appreciated. For those saying that this is a fake post, all I have to say is I wish it was. 3K upvotes.
I'm like speechless right now, to be honest.
I get it, like being in the moment. You're always like, you walk away and you're like, I should have said this. But like, if somebody says something to you like that, like you're so shell-shocked and stunned. Like, how do you even respond?
100%.
You're so
if
fucked up.
Tyler I'm sorry.
It's fine. Keep going. OP is 30 and her sister's 28. Like, that's a full-grown adult. You have no excuse.
Yeah.
You have no excuse.
No. And you can't use your depression against someone else for leaving you. Like, absolutely not.
I'd be scared to be around her alone.
Nope.
I applaud this woman.
You be the independent bitch you're meant to be.
Do you want one more story, or are you done, you think?
Sure. I'm good for one more story. Am I gonna fuck this up with how drunk I am?
I think it's hilarious. And you're not that drunk. I mean, you're fine. You're doing great. You can pick between two. They're both from r/Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for snapping at my husband in front of his family and revealing that he hasn't helped me like he claims? Or am I the asshole for divorcing my husband because he spent 10 minutes in the car during a family emergency?
Let's hear the first one.
For my whole life, I, 30 female, have had a lot of anxiety when it comes to driving. It has never been too much of a problem as I live in a city and I can walk wherever I need to go. I have been married to my husband Stan, 32 female, for 3 years, together for 6. Throughout our relationship, he has tried to help me learn how to drive. The problem is Stan is not a very good teacher and gets very impatient and angry every time we try. We go to a parking lot of an abandoned warehouse sometimes. It's huge. Anyway, if I make one small mistake, for example, if I don't check my mirrors for a long time, Stan yells at me. I would already be nervous behind the wheel, but with all the yelling, it would cause me to break down and cry. I have a brother, Paul, 33 male, who I hang out with typically once a week. A few months ago, I was talking to Paul about how I want to learn how to drive, but I'm very nervous about it. He offered to teach me when we hang out. Paul's husband, Chris, also was willing to help me out, and they actually have made me feel so much more at ease behind the wheel. I thought I was bad at driving, but it turns out I was just anxious. Another factor that made me want to learn, besides feeling like I need to do this, is that Stan has told me that he won't have a child with me until I get my license, which is definitely an understand. 2 weeks ago, on my day off from work, Paul and Chris took me to the DMV and I finally got my license! Exclamation point, exclamation point. I also bought a used car a few days ago with money that I'd been saving up for years. I thought Stan would be mad that I did all of this behind his back, and he was somewhat disappointed that I didn't want his help. I love him so much, but honestly, he wasn't the right teacher for me. Anyway, on Sunday, Stan and I both had off from work, and he told me he has a surprise for me. He took me to his parents' house where they had a celebration for me, basically like a little party congratulating me because I learned how to drive. Halfway through, my mother-in-law was giving a speech about how proud of me she was, but also proud of my husband for all of his support and lessons he was giving me. I could feel the anger rising in my chest. Stan has been telling everyone that he was the one who had been teaching me how to drive. I snapped and told everyone basically that the few times Stan tried to teach me, I always ended up crying because he would yell at me until he was blue in the face. That the only people who helped me and gave me confidence were Paul and Chris. And that, if anything, Stan made things feel worse for me, which was true. But now, Stan won't talk to me. My mother-in-law, father-in-law, and sister-in-law are on my side, but my 2 brother-in-laws and a couple of cousins are on Stan's side. I kind of don't feel like an asshole, but at the same time, everything I said was true. Am I the asshole? What do you think the overall vote was? Reddit can be weird.
No.
Voted not the asshole.
You know what I would say to Stan?
What would you say to Stan? Stan, get out of here! Knock you out, man. You better watch out.
Yeah, I would.
Top comment. Not the asshole, but you're absolutely sure this is the person you want to have a child with? If he can't muster the patience to teach you how to do something, what is he going to be like with a 2-year-old? Or even when their kid's going to drive?
Preach.
Like, come on.
Preach.
I also hate when people just take credit for something they had nothing to do with. And I know she didn't really tell her husband how, was it Paul and Chris had been helping her? But at the same time, like,
yeah.
Come on. Did you think it was going well? She was sobbing in the car while you were trying to teach her how to drive. Like,
you don't get to take credit for that, Stan.
OP, you will be in the worst pain in your life during labor. Will Stan be up to the task of shutting his yelling mouth? How will he be around a crying baby that needs help? Please think carefully. I know people on Reddit, like, often jump to divorce, but, like, this is big. Like, this is kind of a big red flag. There's definitely some backstory and manipulation in this relationship, and I feel like this is not the first thing. And if OP opened her little, like, black book memory being like, oh yeah, that's kind of a red flag. Oh yeah, that's kind of a red flag too.
Yeah, she's gonna be pregnant and in birth, and Stan's gonna be back there, push, bitch. Why do you act like this hurts? Never
oh my gosh.
Birth. I've had a kidney stone.
They say that's
it's
worse.
Similar, so
they say kidney stones is worse. My friend, oh my god, my friend in the same year had a kidney stone and a baby. She said the kidney stone was worse.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Awesome for her for getting her license. Like, I'm so glad she found some good teachers and mustered up the courage. Because, like, how old was she? I keep forgetting the ages. 30 female. OP's 30 female. Like, getting your license as 30, I'm sure that's kind of a little bit embarrassing. Like, I feel like I would kind of be embarrassed. And, like, she did it, and she took the time to learn, and she put the work in for her kid. She invested her time into her child, basically, and in her family.
Well, if you're like me, red flags just brings you to a circus.
That's what I'm saying. The stands gravitate towards you. The stands in life.
I'm going to end it with, well, I'm drunk.
That's awesome.
I'm not drinking this wine next time because I didn't realize it was 19% alcohol.
Mine's literally 5%.
Like, I went to the bathroom and I was like, why am I this way?
Oh, you drank half. Okay. Oh, we're done with the podcast.
2 thumbs up.
One. Oh, there we go. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
To our podcast reaching the top charts.
Top 10 in the next week, baby.
We love all of you. Follow our accounts.
Like, rate, subscribe. Give us all the things. Tell us what we're doing wrong. We love the haters. That means we're winning. Thank you guys so much for watching. Join us next time. We will be doing more of these. If you have any suggestions or topic requests, let us know for the Reddit stories. We'll see you all next time.